Rykard was a royal prince, a praetor, and a rebel preparing to challenge the gods. Then he looked at an immortal serpent and made one of the worst strategic decisions in Elden Ring: eat me. The absurd part is that it worked. The serpent swallowed him, their bodies became one, and that leaves one question. When Rykard entered the serpent, which one of them actually survived? The prince gained the power to grow by devouring champions, but somewhere inside that giant immortal upgrade, the cause he had fought for disappeared. His rebellion against divine rule became another system built to consume people only with more lava. To understand how a Carian prince with a throne in Landel became the Lands Between's loudest snake landlord, we need to go back to the family that made moderation look impossible. Before Volcano Manor started sending dinner invitations with assassination contracts attached, Rykard was born into Carian royalty. His mother was Ranni, the Moon Queen. His father was Radagon, a red-haired champion of the Golden Order. Radagon later left Ranni to marry Marika, the goddess of the Erd Tree. His brother Radon would grow powerful enough to challenge the stars. His sister Ranni was a moon princess, chosen as Marika's possible successor, and would begin planning her escape. Rykard looked at this family group chat and decided he also needed a completely reasonable life goal. Radagon's marriage to Marika pulled the 3 Carian children into her divine family and raised them to demigod status. Rykard received a throne in Landel, the royal capital, beside Marika's other children. Before he declared war on the ruling order, he had premium seating inside it. He also held the title of Praetor and led an inquisition. The game never says when it operated or whom it served. That page is missing from the employee handbook, so we cannot invent one dramatic afternoon when Rykard discovered the Golden Order was evil and immediately changed teams. What we know is simpler. Rykard understood authority, punishment, and the machinery of power from very close range. Then he decided that the Erd Tree deserved opposition instead of obedience.
Kill that boy! Kill him! Shut up!
Why? The game refuses to say. Maybe he rejected the Golden Order's control. Maybe loyalty to Carian won out. Maybe ambition grew faster than obedience. Fans have filled the gap with enough red string to redecorate Volcano Manor, add Mesmer, 3 serpent eggs, and one suspiciously curvy line, and the theory board goes from maybe to 100% proven in 5 seconds. But one relationship proves that Rykard's rebellion began before the serpent. Ranni, Rykard's sister, had been chosen by the 2 Fingers as a possible future god. She wanted out. To escape that fate, she stole a fragment of destined death from Malekith, Marika's shadow, and the guardian of the only power capable of truly killing a demigod. Rykard helped her. What he did is one of the story's best gaps. One fan theory casts him as Ranni's fall guy, or a participant in the ritual, because she rewarded him that night. But the game never says Rykard killed Marika's golden son Godwyn, stole the fragment, or marked Ranni's body. The mystery is real. The confession is fan-made. What survives is Ranni's payment, the Blasphemous Claw, a stone weapon engraved with traces of the Rune of Death. If their conspiracy ever placed Rykard before Malekith, the Claw gave him a way to challenge the Black Blade himself. Normal siblings send socks. Ranni sent anti-Malekith parry technology. That gift matters. Before the serpent entered the plan, Rykard was already preparing for war against the Divine Order. The snake did not unlock his rebellion skill tree. It offered a later and much worse answer to his question, how do you fight the gods when the gods control the rules? Somewhere along that path, Rykard traveled to a foreign land and met Tanith, a dancer. He brought her home and made her his consort. Tanith would eventually become the elegant public face of Volcano Manor, perfect manners, beautiful clothes, and one tiny omission from the welcome brochure: "Our Lord may eat you." Then Marika shattered the Elden Ring, and the royal family stopped pretending to be a family. The demigods seized great runes, powerful shards of the broken ring, turned on one another, and unlocked their personal boss arenas. Rykard planted his banner on Mount Gelmir. From his fortress at Volcano Manor, he openly rebelled against the Erdtree, and Lendel sent forces up the mountain to crush him. The war on Gelmir was hideous. Soldiers fought through broken siege camps, hanging corpses, and volcanic fire. A sword monument remembers it as a bitter war without glory. The mountain became a machine that turned soldiers into scenery. And yet, Rykard's soldiers, the Gelmir Knights, believed in him. Their surviving words separate the lord they chose to follow from the creature he later became. They called his ambition blasphemous, but still worthy of a sovereign. Whatever Rykard's private motives were, some of his followers believed his stand against the Erdtree was worth dying for. That distinction matters, because it shows us exactly what the serpent destroyed. Rykard could resist Lendel's armies, but an army could not consume the power above them. The Erdtree could outlast rebels. The gods could replace soldiers. Malika still carried destined death. Rykard needed something that could grow beyond the limits of a demigod. Unfortunately, Mount Gelmir had an upgrade available. An ancient serpent, had been worshipped there long before Rykard's rebellion. It was remembered as a traitor to the Erdtree, associated with devouring, rebirth, and a life that refused to end. Basically, Rykard found one forbidden boss build whose entire mission statement was eat the management. But even the serpent's identity is not as simple as it looks. The opening artwork shows a small serpent consuming Rykard beside several eggs. That inspired a theory. Perhaps eating a demigod earned it the title God-Devouring Serpent. But the man-serpent ashes call it an elder serpent, so the hatchling idea has a problem. Our snake police lineup now contains several identical suspects and 0 reliable witnesses. The evidence cannot settle the serpent's earlier identity. It can settle Rykard's choice. He did not fall into its mouth. He offered himself willingly, great rune included. In his final moments as a separate man, Rykard saw a vision of a serpent devouring the world. To anyone else, that might resemble a warning. To a demigod planning war against heaven, it looked like the 5-year plan. The serpent swallowed him. That is! But Rykard did not simply die inside it. His remembrance says their bodies became one. Later, when the creature opens its jaws, Rykard's human face emerges from its flesh, surrounded by the arms and remains of everyone already consumed. So who controlled the new body? The game never settles it. Rykard still speaks with purpose. He remembers his war and still wants to devour the gods, but his knights insist that their sovereign's worthy ambition became gluttonous depravity after he entered the serpent. Maybe Rykard controlled it. Maybe the serpent controlled him. Or maybe, after both became the same hunger, there was no separate user left to log in. In the narrowest possible sense, Rykard's plan worked. He gained an immortal body that could grow stronger by consuming champions. Tiny problem, his political movement was now a feeding program. Volcano Manor began recruiting tarnished, exiled warriors called back to compete for the title of Elden Lord. Those who rejected grace became recusants, and Tanith welcomed them into Rykard's family. The sales pitch promised freedom from the Erdtree. The welcome package contained a drawing room key and an assassination contract. The brochure was slowly becoming a menu. Each target was another tarnished who might one day become Elden Lord. Every successful murder removed a possible champion of the Erdtree and proved that the recusant was strong enough for greater service. Those who proved themselves received the highest honor, an audience with Rykard. That sounds prestigious, until we learn what joining the family actually means. Rykard devoured powerful champions, so their bodies, spirits, and strength became part of him. His family did not stand beside him. It moved beneath his skin. This is where the rebellion ate its own argument. Rykard condemned divine rule, then built a manor that recruited people, tested them through murder, and converted the winners into food. He escaped one cruel hierarchy and built another around his own hunger. His knights could see what had happened. They abandoned him. One found the Serpent-Hunter, an ancient spear capable of killing an immortal serpent, and left it where another warrior might finish the job. The knight did not speak as a man seeking revenge. He wanted someone to kill the monster so Praetor Rykard's old ambitions would suffer no further dishonor. That is the tragedy beneath the memes. The people who once followed Rykard still remembered someone worth saving. By the time we arrive, the only way to protect that man's memory is to kill what he chose to become. The manor's lie also reaches Tanith's adopted daughter, Rya. Beneath her human illusion, Rya is a serpent woman named Zarias, born through a repellent ritual connected to the serpent's amnion. Tanith hides the truth because she wants Rya to believe she was born by the grace of a king. When Rya discovers what the manor really is, her faith collapses. She sees its torture chambers, learns the truth of her birth, and realizes that the noble rebellion around her has been manufacturing horrors. Rykard promised a family, but his family could not even tell its daughter what she was. Eventually, our Tarnished the exiled warrior we play reaches Rykard's chamber. Waiting inside is the Serpent-Hunter, an anti-serpent weapon placed beside the immortal serpent. Even Elden Ring occasionally enables tutorial mode. The Tarnished raises the spear and kills the God-Devouring Serpent. For one brief moment, it looks finished. Then the victory screen is cancelled. A human face wakes beneath the serpent's skin. Rykard pulls the blasphemous blade from its throat. A sword formed from the remains of the champions he consumed. The serpent was only the first phase. Now Rykard himself is awake. Then comes the offer. The community will never allow him to forget. Join the Serpent King's family, and together we will devour the very gods. Once, together may have meant Rykard and his followers standing against the Erdtree. Now it means everyone occupying the same stomach. Excellent slogan, extremely concerning membership policy. The Tarnished declines the family plan and kills him. Rykard's great rune is claimed. Volcano Manor loses its lord. But with his final breath, Rykard insists that a serpent never dies. It sounds like one final act of defiance until we return to the chamber. Tanith is kneeling beside Rykard's remains. She is eating them. She's eating them. Tanith believes that if Rykard once lived within the serpent, he may now live within her. The game never confirms that this will work. It only shows how completely his idea has infected the person who loved him most. Rykard gave himself to a serpent so he could devour the gods. Then he devoured champions so their strength could live inside him. After his defeat, Tanith devours Rykard so that he might live inside her. His rebellion is gone. Only its appetite keeps finding a new body. So, was the serpent Rykard's greatest weapon, or the moment his rebellion failed? Probably both. It gave him the power to challenge gods, but it replaced every purpose with hunger. His knights did not abandon him because he opposed the Erd Tree. They abandoned him because the man leading that opposition had disappeared into the thing doing the eating. Rykard went looking for a way to devour the gods. In the end, the only thing his kingdom learned to devour was itself. If you want more stories from the lands between, park your tiny chibi tarnished beside the grace and subscribe. We have many more demigod disasters to investigate, preferably ones where family dinner remains a metaphor.